It's me, SPILLIN. A bunch of PS1 games. I can just walk in and out of thrift store. Hello gamers, it's me, SPILLIN. It's my show. Glad to be back, man. Hello gamers, it's me, SPILLIN. It's my show. Glad to be back to do another video. In this video, I wanted to do a video response to TRexSpaceStation, fellow YouTuber, really awesome guy. He's always coming up with some good food for thought type of videos to watch, and he just happened to come off his little leave of absence from doing his videos to come back to do a really interesting video that piqued my interest. And so I wanted to share with you guys, or recommend to you guys, or just kind of give you an insight into who I am a little bit more. A book that I would recommend, first of all, would be The Magic of Thinking Big. This is a book I read years and years ago. I've read several books in between and stuff like that, but the reason why I would recommend this book is because if you are a person that's kind of pessimistic and not necessarily optimistic, it kind of expands your horizon to think a little bit broader, to see yourself beyond where you see yourself now. I've always kind of been the type of person who is always looking ahead towards the future as to where I can go. I'm always setting goals and stuff like that. So I'm always strategizing. This book kind of was a guidance towards my life early on in my 20s. I'm now in my 30s, heading towards my 40s. And so this book kind of propelled my life into a better direction, gave me a broader view of life and what to expect and how to set up my short-term goals versus long-term goals. And then also just kind of gave me some business ideas and stuff like that as well. So yeah, that's a book I definitely would recommend. It's an easy read. It's awesome. It's really fun. It just gives you a chance to just look at yourself in a different perspective, especially if you're coming from a negative one. The next thing that I wanted to talk about out of my recommended list is my favorite CD. And I was, for the life of me, trying to look for the CD case. I had so many CDs. Because people are like, oh my God, you still have CDs? And I'm like, yeah, because I actually like collecting those and I like CDs. And I've had several CDs stolen from me on numerous occasions. But my favorite CD is Korn Issues. The reason why this one, out of the ones that I've had, like I got several. I probably got about 6 of their CDs. First of all, just kind of give you a little background. I fell in love with the band in the early 90s, kind of like everybody else. I actually didn't hear about them until about 95. So that was already, I think they were already 2 CDs in. But when I heard about Issues, there was an anticipation that built. It was actually during a really, really dark period in my life, and that CD kind of helped me out. Funny things that I found out about the band: the lead singer, Jonathan Davis, him and I share the same birthday, January 18th. So we're both Capricorns. And we both shared some of the same life tragedies, experiences, abuses, all kinds of things that were, there was some correlation that I drew between the band. And that was the original band with, let's see, Fieldy, Head, Monkey, David, and then of course Jonathan, the lead singer. But Issues for me is a very dark album, but it's kind of one of those albums that goes through a metamorphosis. If you listen to it all the way from the beginning to the end, there's a lot of songs that dealt with some personal pain, that it dealt with a lot of rage. And that's why I've always liked rock music, because just having one of those days as I'm spitfiring mad and I just feel like getting some shit off my chest, I can just listen to it. But this CD has definitely helped me out. It came out in, I believe, 1999, and I've been listening to it, and I've lost count of how many times. But some of my favorite tracks that stand out is Trash, Beg for Me, Daddy, Make Me Bad. Um, there's a few other tracks that stand out, but it's just the way that the band was able to work together to bring forth this powerful sound. I think that's what drew me in, and then the lyrics. Of course, I've always been more of a lyrics guy than a beats guy. So, yeah, that definitely was one of my favorites. And then just going along with that, my favorite movie, ironically, is a lot of people's favorite movie. And with the passing of Robin Williams, it brought forth a lot of eye-opening moments, and that's Good Will Hunting. It was one of the first movies that I actually went to go see by myself, and it was different. It was more than what I expected. What I got out of this, yet another movie that kind of draws a correlation to my life, dealing with obstacles of your own and not knowing your full potential. And so with Good Will Hunting, it actually helped me to see myself in a positive light, see myself on the other end, kind of like with the book and the CD. And it made me understand myself a little bit more. So yeah, this movie, the lead character, Will, basically is like this freaking genius, but he's been physically abused, verbally abused. He's been made to not believe in his potential, nor his talents, nor his genius, nor his gifts. And so it's kind of kept him isolated from the world. And I know that watching this movie, there was a lot of parts that just stood out to me. And I was only probably about 16 or 17 when this movie came out. I can't recall. It's been some years now, but the reason why this one stands out to me is because not only because of the acting, but because of the message that was being conveyed. Because of you could draw some sort of relation with one of the characters in the movie or something like that. And so yeah, this is definitely a powerful movie to make you want to push for and be more than what you see yourself as. So yeah, that was a really, really good movie, and I've watched this countless amount of times. I actually just watched it recently again, just because after the passing of Robin Williams, which I actually kind of took his death hard, because there was a lot of movies that he came out with that were very powerful to me. And then the last thing that I wanted to talk about was the game that changed me, as far as made me think a little bit more, pushed me a little bit further, and that's Mega Man 2. As you have come to learn and know after watching my show for years, or even if you just started watching recently, Mega Man 2 is my favorite NES title of all time. Why? Is because I believe I was 11 or 12 when this game came out. I can't recall the time. But I know I got it after it was released. What's so powerful about this game is that it made me say, I'm definitely a gamer. Like, I've had games that I played and stuff like that, and it definitely opened my eyes a little bit more. But because of the platform of the game, the challenges, the strategizing, because each character in the game, there's 8 robots that you got to fight against. This is for people that probably never ever played Mega Man, may have heard about it, but never played it. But as you progress through the game, you have to use each power from each character against each other. Some of them just can be taken out with Mega Man's regular power, but at the same time, it requires strategizing. And at such a young age, it made me realize how smart I am and how quick I am to think on my feet, because some of the Wily stages, there's actually one stage, the first Wily stage, that's after you beat the 8 robots. Then you have to go to there's like 5 Wily stages that you have to go through. There is this big gap. There's a ladder that holds one part, and then there's a ladder that's at the end, but you got to be able to basically get from one part all the way to the top and the top part is way high, so you have to strategize and think about it. And then what's really crazy about the Wily stages is that you don't get to refill your power. You have to go through the game, pick up power-ups along the way. So if you die, whatever level your energy is at, you pretty much leave it at that. Not necessarily Mega Man's power, but all the other robots, after you've beat them, you've collected their powers along the way. Well, normally on a regular stage, when you're fighting another robot, that energy automatically gets replenished and you get to move on to the next robot. But when you're on the Wily stages, those energies go down. So you got to be able to use what you got. You got to work off the land, and you got to be able to replenish your powers throughout the stage. So it just ups the level. And then not only that, after you beat the Wily stages, you have to beat the robots again. Then you got to beat Wily, Dr. Wily, twice. So at this age, at such a young age, to be able to accomplish something of that magnitude that rapidly, it took me several months to beat it, because I did it with no strategy guides or nothing like that. I just started thinking about each robot and how to utilize things to their full potential. So I hope this gives you a little insight into who I am and what I love and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm SPILLIN 79, and I'm out.